started. I'll be right back. I just need to make sure of something. Right now I'm back. Okay. Just needed to make something happen. We might be having something a little bit special at the end of qualifying. We'll have to wait and see. Well, welcome ladies and gentlemen to round 12 of the PS4 Pacific Series, the Tier 2 class. We are here at the Hungarian Grand Prix at the Hungaroring. Monaco of road courses. This track is notoriously difficult to overtake on. Some of the key corners that we have to look out for today is turn 1 and turn 2. They come straight after DRS zone, so we're going to be seeing plenty of overtaking there. And of course turn 5, sweeping right-hander in the beginning of sector 2. It has an auto spin curb on the inside. If you dare touch it, you will spin your car round, so you have to be very, very careful. The circuit of 4.38 kilometers is also one of the shortest on the Formula 1 calendar, only 14 turns, but it has a beautiful balance of corners, I have to say. A nice combination of low speed, medium speed and high speed turns, making it an ideal circuit for testing, a bit like Barcelona. But here tend to get some pretty good racing, I have to say. And another thing that happens for some reason, every time I do commentary, it always rains here when I do commentary. Don't know why, but it does. So I'm suspecting there's going to be a little bit of rainfall. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax and enjoy the show as we move on to the 18 minutes of qualifying. Now, just for a little bit of stuff behind the scenes, the driver who ended up winning the German Grand Prix was Kick Butt Kiwi in the McLaren and remains to be the 8th different driver to win a race this year in Tier 2. After that absolutely superb German Grand Prix at Hockenheimring, he ended up winning after some, let's say, controversial moments that occurred, particularly towards the end of that race. We've got a full grid here today as well, 20 drivers, 20 very fast drivers indeed. And I suspect that this roll that we're on, eight different drivers, I believe that it's going to continue here in Hungary. It might be broken, we'll have to wait and see. Let's get on with it, shall we? Who's going to be the first driver out of the blocks? It's Blocky Rex in the Mercedes, the winner of the French Grand Prix. And he's been looking quick ever since he made that win. He obviously got pole position in Austria, but then he got the starting glitch where his lights stayed on for a prolonged period of time in comparison to everyone else. Got a very bad start. Then he got involved in an incident at turn 1 which pretty much dropped him to the back of the field. Hopefully he'll try and redeem himself here at Hungary. I believe Ken is the next driver out, with Installator falling in behind. We've got a couple more drivers coming out. One Renault, it's Misty Griffin, and Toto 22 in the Red Bull. And Gold Gloves in the Racing Point out next. But we're going to go on board with Blocky off this circuit on a flying lap. He's on the hard tyre as well, so he might be setting a few laps on this compound, then comes back into the pits and gets ready for the race ahead. Now, speaking of which, I believe the strategy around this place is medium to hards. People in the comments watching this video right now, could you please just confirm or deny that for me? I'm pretty sure it's a medium to hard compound race circuit. I might be wrong. But Blocky Rex is coming on to the main straightaway. We'll ride on board. Watch the speedo climb up towards 320 kilometers an hour into the heavy braking zone of turn 1. Second gear on the throttle, DRS open again. Climbing the gears once more, coming into turn 2. Heavy braking zone, third gear. You have to be careful of the negative camber as Ken has a moment coming out of turn 1. Coming out of turn 3 into turn 4 now does Blocky Rex. Does it quite nicely. Probably could take a bit more curve at turn 4. Just snag that extra 1 or 2 tenths of a second through turn 5 into the chicane of 6 and 7. Very nicely done. And into the fast flowing corners of 8, 9. Then into turn 10 and the tricky turn 11. Have to try and not run too wide here. Or the back end steps out, but he controls that nicely. Now into sector 3, turn 12. We might see a bit of overtaking here. It is possible to overtake through there as the McLaren goes off. I believe that's Ardy on an outlap as Williams goes off as well. But we'll let Blocky do his stuff first. He'll come across the line to settle 1 minute 18.3. The first flying lap here at the Hungaro Ring. Next driver to come round. Not Big Donga, it's Installator. He's invalidated though, so not much point watching him. I believe Ken is on a poor lap, he is. So is Toto from the looks of things. So the next driver would be Golden Gloves. No, it would be Camos first. No, he's on an outlap, so Golden Gloves also on an outlap, okay. I thought he was on a fly. Oh, a lot of drivers have invalidated their first laps, I have to say. Lunacy hasn't, he's still going. He's coming around the final turn now in 5th gear, now finally drops it to 4th. DRS open as Donga goes fastest in the Ferrari. Lunacy goes to 5th after another poor lap, so drivers making some mistakes here. Nobody's showing their true colours at the moment. Donga 17.9, he'd be looking for a good finish here. There are many races that he has been involved in where he's leading and comfortably leading and then just something happens. France is a fantastic example. He was leading a comfortable lead of about 5 seconds and he just lost it at turn 10 and claimed many drivers. It's just he was one of them as well. Dropped him out of a potential race winning position, as I believe that is James Cruz. It is. In the Alfa Romeo this weekend, and that is a Toro Rosso. It is Reedy. Backs it out in clear traffic, so not too much of a danger. Oh, but that is Camos at the chicane. Deary me. The Misty Griffin, our current championship leader by 34 points. He's got a race win under his belt this season. He's also got more than a race win gap, so he's in quite a healthy position, but don't let drivers like harass. Don't discount them at all. Harass has shown absolutely superb form in recent times, just unfortunate circumstances, particularly at Germany. He looked good for winning. He got involved in an incident between Donga and Kickbutt Kiwi. Dropped him way down the order. We have an incident in Sector 2. I believe that's... Oh, it's Aussie Suspect. Okay. It's not Reedy. Reedy's come into the pits. So Misty Griffin comes across the line and goes second fastest on 1 minute 18.222. Only just a bit quicker than Blocky Rex. And Blocky Rex was on the hard compound tyre as well. So Blocky's looking good at the moment. But I'm sure these guys have got plenty more pace that they're willing to show. Now this man's going to be incredibly quick. He's got a Williams in front of him. I don't quite know who that is. It's Lunacy. Now, I don't know whether or not Lunacy is on the flying. He's going in the pits. I'm not sure if Harass would be too happy about that. Coming on to the pit straight away now. This is going to be one hell of a time, I imagine. On the soft compound top. That's rain! Oh my goodness me, the curse has followed me. The curse has followed me. It is raining in Hungary. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh my word. Coming through turn 3 now. And the short straight away into turn 4. Now into tricky turn 5. You don't want to hit that inside line. Honest crook. Okay. That's a bold claim. We'll have to wait and see. Griffin now goes faster, so 17.9. At the moment, Harass looks good. He runs wide, however, through turn 9 into turn 10 and turn 11. Short shifts to 5th just to try and get extra rotation into turn 12. 90-degree right-hander into the hairpin of turn 13. And the long right-handed sweeper of 14 to round out the lap. On the soft tyre as well, I believe this is going to be quick. Achiriale in the Alpha jumps to the top of the leaderboard. But what can Harass do? He does a 1 minute 17.228. He goes 0.4 of a second quicker than Achiriale. Puts himself in a very good position. And with the rain coming down, it's only going to get worse for the drivers who haven't set a flying lap. So I believe Harass has snagged pole position. I don't think anyone else is going to take it away from him. It's got on best, doesn't it? Once it's fitted. The Rock. With the rain coming down every second he spends on circuit, it's going to become worse and worse for him. He comes on to the pit straight to 18.1, puts in P6, a very healthy P6 for the Williams driver. Let's go further back. Suskas has set a lap time of 1 minute 22.3. So he's got a lot more pace up his sleeve, but out in those conditions, the worsening conditions, he's not able to gain any sort of positions at all. Still got quite a number of drivers coming out in an attempt to improve their times, as I believe that is Kickbutt Kiwi letting Honest Crook through. Honest Crook making a bold prediction in the comments section in the stream that Kickbutt Kiwi and Donga are going to have another collision. After what happened in Germany, I think they want to stay as far away from each other as possible. Which is... Oh! Toto! Making a slight error at turn 4. And he's destroyed his front wing in the process. And with the rain coming down like it is, I believe his session is done. He won't be gaining any more places. Honest Crook on a flying lap. One of 2 drivers yet to set a lap time, an Aussie suspect. He needs to get out there now, which he is, but he needs to go. He really does need to go. The longer he spends out on circuit, the worse it's going to be. Over the curbs does Honest Crook into turn 8, then turn 9. Very nice at the moment. Through turn 10 into 11. 5th gear. Doesn't run too wide, and he's apparently purple. I doubt that very much. It's more likely that he's green, as he, well, hasn't set a lap time. Going around turn 13. Installator going into the pits, I imagine. And Honest Crook around the final turn. Doesn't quite use all the curb on exit. He goes 16 faster, so 20.3. So Aussie, he's invalidated. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. He didn't need that. He is losing a lot of time. He desperately needs to get this lap together. see what he can do. Excuse me. It seems that he's got plenty of fuel. There's no yellow or red icon coming up on the telemetry, so looks good on that. Got plenty of ERS, of course. He's coming through Sector 3 now, into Turn 13. With the rain coming down harder and harder. But the track still looks relatively good. But let's see what Aussie Suspect can do. Now, he's going through Sector 1 at the moment. Let's compare him to Harass's time. So, 27.1, 27.8, 22.2. Let's see what Aussie can do. This is how much the conditions changes when the rain comes down like this. How much the time changes between drivers. It's a 27.8. He's down by 6/10. Oops, wrong button. He's down by 6/10 in the first sector alone. Coming through Sector 2. Oh dearie me. Does not look good at all. He does a 57.9. I'll just go back to the menu once he's completed his lap. As I said, in that first sector that only has 3 corners, 3 turns. Oh, and that's the rock out of the session. And Aussie's coming in. Okay. So he's bowed out. He's had enough. Even though he would have had some sort of time, but in trying to finish a lap. So I'll be able to take a closer look. So 27.8 in Sector 2. What did Aussie do on that lap? Oh, it didn't come up. Oh, yes he did. Did it? No, it mustn't have. It must have invalidated in Sector 2, it just the map didn't show that. In which case, that's his session done. There is no way he's going to be improving his position at all. So I believe that the positions will stay as is, with Harass on pole position. Archie Riale in probably his personal best qualifying position of P2. Championship leader Misty Griffin P3. Big Donga P4. Blocky Rex P5. The Rock P6. Kickbutt Kiwi P7. Gold Gloves P8. Hardy in the McLaren P9. And Lunacy rounding out the top 10. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that'll be it. I think the drivers will begin to retire. There is no way you can improve your times. There's absolutely no way you can try and improve your times. Yeah, the drivers are starting to retire in the session. Now I sent out a party invite to Harass just before the stream, because he suggested the idea of post-qualifying interviews, and hopefully in this current situation he might like to join us in the comm box. If I have to send another invite, I will. At the moment everything looks pretty regulatory at the moment. Just have 2 minutes of a whole heap of nothing. 2 minutes. Oh, okay, so Aussie's going to have another crack. Righto. Well, let's see what he can do. Hopefully he can finally string a lap together. To get himself out of 20th, he has to beat a 1 minute 22.384 set by Suskas in the Haas, but he's got one hell of a mountain to climb. On a worsening racetrack, he might be on the softest compound tyre, but still. As Harass joins the party.
Sorry, Smig, didn't see your invitation.
Oh, you didn't... Oh, okay. Very strange. But still, you're here, and it's good to see. Pole position, mate. You must be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I'm glad I just got out before the rain started.
Now, is it going to be raining during the race?
From other drivers, I believe it's not.
Okay, so it's going to be fairly dry conditions then. Uh,
Yes.
so you're going to be starting on the soft compound tyre. Is that going to be a deficit for you, do you think? I'm pretty sure the strat around here is a medium hard, is it not?
It is, but I want to try and get away from the field as far as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone will probably be battling each other. And I won't have anything to do with it, so
Yep, fair enough.
I'll try and pull away as much as I can and I'll think about my strategy.
Now, is it going to be a two-stop from you? Or you...
Could be.
Oh, okay. Going to leave it a mystery.
We'll see what how much safety cars come out, and I'll probably go soft hard for now.
Mm-hmm.
If we do get a late safety car, we'll probably go back on the softs.
Now, as you said, your strategy is pretty much to pick up and go off the line. Try and not get involved in too many battles.
Yep.
Do you
just need clean air?
Yeah,
clean
in the clean
air to
air.
myself, stay out of the battles, and
oh, Kickbutt Kiwi has just got a 5 grid place penalty for a collision with his teammate, and that drops him. It drops him from 7th to 12th. Deary me.
Wow. He's one of the top runners too.
Yeah, after his win in Germany. Now, speaking of which, I mean, with you here, we can't just simply ignore it. I'm guessing you're going to try and redeem yourself after what happened in Germany.
Well, the stewards haven't made their decision yet, so it's still pending.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll try and get away on these softs from the start and create a gap and let everyone else battle.
And pray there isn't a safety car.
Well, it doesn't really worry me because I'll have to change tyres at some time. Because those softs won't last very long.
But I think that should end qualifying as soon as Aussie retires the car. For goodness sake, stop doing donuts. In this race, who do you think is going to be your main rival for the lead at least? Big Donga, you think?
Big Donga's first on the mediums.
Oh no, it's Misty Griffin. He's just ahead of him. Yep, P3. So, got a couple of quick guys behind you. Got a few to worry about.
Yeah, they're both quick, so no doubt they'll come up later in the race, mid-race. Depends on what's going to happen on our pit stops and safety cars and stuff like that.
Well, thank you very much, Harass, for joining us in a sort of post-qualifying interviews. Congratulations on getting pole position by 0.4 of a second as well. A very nice lap from you, mate. Enjoy the race, and I pray that it goes better than what happened in Germany for you.
Cheers, thanks, Mick.
That's all good, mate. Thank you for joining us here in the Combox. Rightio, so that is your top 10. Everyone except for Harass, Achiriale, will be starting on the medium compound tyre. Those two will be starting on the softs, and I believe, if I saw that correctly, in 10th place there was a hard compound user, I think, which in many aspects is probably the ideal strategy. The overcut, sort of like Monaco, works quite well because you're not stuck in traffic. Traffic is such a bad thing around this place, a bit like Monaco, just because of how difficult it is to overtake on. But the session is now counting down. The session counter is counting down. Drivers fine-tuning their setups, fine-tuning their strategies, fine-tuning their fuel loads, etc., etc. Everyone watching knows the drill. Let's get on with the race itself, and let's begin with the formation lap. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So, by 4/10 of a second to Reale, which I believe is his personal best qualifying position. Now, I just want to double check. Tyre. Okay, so we've got two runners on the hards. We've got Lunacy and Installator. Back in P12, Ken Tenmar in the Red Bull is also starting on the hard compound tyre. And Suskas, all the way down in 19th place. Going to take a gamble and try and run long. Not a bad strategy. It worked well for Kickbutt Kiwi in Germany. He started on the hard compound tyre and he ended up, you know, winning the race. But as Harass said, the stewards are still investigating. It's quite a unique incident. It's got plenty of views as James Cruz proceeds to have a moment at turn 2. But yes, if you haven't watched that Germany race, I highly recommend you watch that. It was an absolutely superb race. I had my good friend and fantastic commentator, NBC Alcatraz, alongside me. And it was an absolutely fantastic race, to the point where it almost rivaled the real-life 2019 German Grand Prix. Full of action, chaos, and some really titanic battles as well. Hopefully, with our fingers crossed, we will see some of that magic from Germany transfer itself to here at the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix. 35 laps that we have to do around this 4.38 kilometer circuit. A lot of laps, a lot of turns, a lot of mistakes waiting to happen. Maybe, just maybe, a safety car or two. We'll have to wait and see. But Harass is now coming out of the final corner with some drivers already stationary due to contact on the formation lap. It does happen sometimes. But the drivers are now lining back up into their respective grid slots, and we'll get this Grand Prix underway. As you heard from Harass as well, no wet weather. Should be a dry race. Should be. We'll have to wait and see. Come on, Co-Masters, give us a better camera shot. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, strap yourselves in. We've got 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go. And Harass, it seems, has got a fantastic start off the line. That is an absolute superb start from Harass. And we got drivers going 3 wide into turn 1. There was definitely a bit of contact in the background. I just saw a little bit of that. Oh, a little bit of lagging as well. We don't like to see that. Car's jittering a little bit. Hopefully that's just me and not the drivers on the grid itself. Oh, as golden gloves. Oh my goodness me. That is a big crash. He's lost it at turn 2. He's collected a few front wings. I see a Renault 1 as Harass doing exactly what he said in the interview. He is pulling away. Misty Griffin has moved into P2. Reale has fallen to P3. Blocky Rex and The Rock are ghosting through each other. That's not good. For P4, Lunacy P6. Kickbutt Kiwi P7. Big Donga has fallen big time to P8, down 4 positions from the start as he runs wide at turn 11. He's got his teammate right behind Installator, who had an absolutely superb race at Hungary. I believe he finished 3rd, if my memory serves me correctly. He had an absolutely titanic battle with some of these drivers. And we've got this very nice camera shot coming around turn 13. Harass at the front, leading the way. 1.5 seconds to Misty Griffin. Hopefully we'll see that gap extend as Big Donga, he might be having a look down the inside. Lunacy into turn 1. He's moved himself up into P7. See, the hard runners haven't moved at all. P8 and P9 still. The soft runners haven't really moved either. Only P1 and P3. I just saw a dot shoot off the circuit then. Must have been some sort of lag. Oh, dearie me. So, Harass leading, and the gap is closing between himself and Misty Griffin as we've had an incident. It's Toto in the Red Bull at turn 5. He must have clipped the inside curb. As soon as you clip that inside curb, it is an auto spin. You do not recover from it. He then proceeds to cut the chicane, but I don't think he got a time penalty out of that, just most likely a warning. Harass coming around turn 13, but Misty Griffin is closing ever so slightly. He must have good pace. Oh dearie me, James Cruz has had a moment at turn 13. He now falls to last place. Misty Griffin now sets the fastest lap, a 1 minute 21.381 on the medium compound tyre. Blocky Rex down the inside. So it seems already the soft tyres are beginning to switch off and the medium tyres are beginning to switch on. Only 3 laps into this thing. It's quite surprising, I have to say. As the Rock jumped around a little bit then, currently in P5. Jumping around a lot actually. But you can see there on the mini-map we got this nice train of cars led currently by Archie Riale, group of 4 cars. Archie Riale, The Rock, Kick Butt Kiwi and Big Donga, P4 down to P7. As Big Donga is now right on the back of the McLaren. Now these two had a massive coming together at Germany, as Reedy receives a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Yeah, these two came together at the hairpin at Hockenheimring, the tight hairpin, turn 6 I believe. Blocky Rex now sets the new fastest lap, a 1 minute 21.086, a very nice time from him. And Archie Riale has fallen down another position, it seems. Not quite, Rocker's down the inside, but he hasn't found a way past. Now coming down the short straightaway into turn 2. The Rock has DRS. Oh, and contact! Was that contact? It was! Archie Riale spun around a little bit, but he manages to recover, but loses a position. The kick by Kiwi. Oh dear. Donga just giving Archie Riale a little bit of a hurry up. Oh, and that car is squirming all over the place, that Alfa Romeo. Those soft tyres are dying off pretty quick. I knew the softs weren't the ideal tyre to start on, but I didn't realise they would go off that quickly. So Ras is not on a very good strategy at all. He would actually be praying for a safety car right now. I thought the softs might go maybe 10 laps, if that. Maybe 10-12 laps, but no, they are falling off a cliff right now. And Misty Griffin is gaining quite quickly. Speaking of going quite quickly, Blocky Rex is right onto the back. His gearbox, he's got DRS. As Misty Griffin, he's got great straight line speed. He darts to the left, goes around the outside, and Blocky will try and follow. Can't get the move done. Oh, in contact! Oh, I don't believe it. Harass has been shot. Oh my goodness me. Harass has to be the unluckiest driver in the T2 community. Misty Griffin has lost it completely by himself. Spun directly across Harass, and oh, those tyre pressures and temperatures are going to be all over the place. Luckily the car ghosts, but he won't return onto the circuit until it's clear. Dear, oh dear, oh dear, I can't believe it. The race leader taken out. Lap 5 and Misty Griffin, he looks shaky. That car is not good. They're side by side through turn 8 into turn 9. Oh dearie me, harass. After getting pole position by quite a healthy margin, have Misty Griffin make a mistake through turn 1. Makes contact with Harass that nearly puts him into the wall. Dear oh dear. It doesn't appear though that Misty has any damage from the incident, but Blocky Rex now leads lap 6 we're now on to. He's opened up a 1.9 second gap to the Renault as Kickbutt at the Rock at turn 1, DRS open again. Down this short blast into turn 2. Can't really do anything. The straight isn't long enough, but Rock locks up. They're side by side, but Kiwi probably wisely pulls through turn 3. Coming down the short straight away into turn 4. You have to be careful. Don't want to cut the corner too much, but you don't want to run wide either, just like Kickbutt Kiwi did. But dearie me. As Harass is now into the pit lane. Is there a front wing change? No, it's not. So he didn't get any damage from it. But he comes out in 19th place. He's on the hard tyre. He's going to try and run as long as possible. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. He would be absolutely furious with that. As I believe that's Camos. It is at turn 5. Has a moment. Gets back on the circuit and he gets going once more. The Rock jumping all over the place at the moment. Hopefully that's... With him it's just me, as Camos has another moment at the chicane. Oh dearie me. Rock. It seems that Misty Griffin has got superb straight line speed. You saw it with when he had DRS on Harass. Oh, hang on. I think that's Candy Cane and James Cruz. They've both had a moment at turn 5. So Harass now moves up into P18. Dear oh dear. The Rock has left the session, so hopefully he'll be able to come back. But the Rock is going to lose quite a number of positions. I imagine the AI, I don't know what setting they're on, but I imagine they are quite slow. The default setting is about 40. There goes Kickbutt Kiwi, and there goes Big Donga. So there we go. Rock has lost 2 places already. Let's see here. So, just another thing of note. The highest placed hard runner from the start of this race is currently Lunacy. He's made up 1 position, I believe. Yep. Currently in P7, started P8. Installator and Suscus, as well as Ken Tenma, are all on the same strategy. So expect these guys around here towards the end of the race, I imagine. They're doing well. They're keeping up relatively well as James Cruz proceeds to have another accident at turn 3. We've got some exchanging of positions here. Ardy and Lunacy. Ardy around the outside into turn 2. Job done for the McLaren. And I don't think Lunacy will be able to fight back just yet. The mediums are still doing well as James Cruz has another, or rather he's just slowing down to let the field through. Archie Reale gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So he's the first of the leading pack to get a penalty. I say leading pack, it's quite the long train. It seems that everyone from here all the way down to 11th is in a relatively good position. They're not far away from each other at all. I mean, if we go to gap to leader, to P11 it's 12.7 seconds, and considering some of those drivers are on an alternate strategy as well, this might be a close race, people. Always good to keep our hopes up. 3 yellow flags. I believe that's Camos. Kickbutt Kiwi is gaining quite a bit as Achiriale comes into the pit lane, and so does Suscus as Suscus retires. Okay, very strange. He was in a fairly good position, I have to say. He definitely wasn't in a bad one. Perhaps he had something to do. Now coming through turn 4 into turn 5, there's that treacherous inside curve that you should avoid at absolutely all costs. Do not want to touch it at all. But Blocky Rex is doing a superb job at the moment. The gap to second place is 3 seconds. He's doing quite well for himself, and it's slowly opening. So it seems that Blocky's got absolutely superb pace underneath him. And he's got almost the most ERS out of everyone except for Big Donga. Donga is saving quite nicely, so he'll have a nice surplus of ERS towards the end of the race, or wherever he needs it, to try and overtake the drivers ahead. We come on to lap 10 of 35 here at the Hungaroring, as the Rock loses another position, I think. Here we go. Satskas has left the session as well. So the Rock still not in the session. Going to be losing a lot of positions. Back up with the leading trio. The gap has now stabilised between Rex and Griffin, holding around about 3.2 seconds, which is a nice healthy gap, easily manageable, so long as Blocky maintains his pace in comparison to Misty Griffin. He'll put himself into a very, very good position indeed. Looking further back, see if we can't find some battles. Aussie Suspect has moved himself into 8th place. It's been a superb start. From last place up to 8th, up 12 positions, as a Toro Rosso has just had a moment. I wonder who it could be. Oh, as a Red Bull has had a moment. That's Toto 22. At turn 4, completely destroyed front ring. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. And Ras, he'll probably find his way past the Red Bull quite quickly and move himself up into 15th place. Although there's been a fair share of mistakes from some of these drivers, I'm quite surprised not to see a safety car. Anyway, no, it's just a slow car. As Installator has made his way past Aussie Suspect for 8th place. Is this the crossover point between the hards and the medium compound tyre? Is this where the likes of Installator and Lunacy start gaining a lot of time on the medium runners? We'll have to wait and see. This battle pack, this trio of cars fighting for 2nd place, as James Cruz gets a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. They're battling well. Kickbutt Kiwi has overtaken Misty Griffin at some point. I'm sure Misty will try and fight back as Kiwi. It's not great ERS, 40% in comparison to 60% and 75%. It's enough in his back pocket to play with. But the gap has opened up to almost 4 seconds between these three and the leader, currently Blocky Rex. So Blocky Rex, after his win in France, he's looked absolutely superb. Like I said, he got pole at Austria. He looked good in Austria, but he got the starting glitch. Got taken out turn 1 as well. And in Germany he was looking good, but penalties ultimately took a half-decent finish away from him. Hopefully he can try and redeem himself here in Hungary. As Big Donga, he's fallen away. He must have made a mistake somewhere in the first sector. He's fallen away from Kiwi and Griffin. See if he can gain back any time. Look further back, Rock is falling like a rock in water at the moment. The AI is simply not that fast. AI level isn't high enough for him to hold position, and I don't think he'll be returning to the session, unfortunately. See that the drivers are still each other. It's just there's no real opportunities on the circuit to overtake at the moment. Not a great deal anyway. Blue flags, that will be for James Cruz. Hopefully he'll get out of the way as soon as possible. Through turn 2 they go. Gap has opened up to 4.2 seconds between Blocky Rex and Kick Butt Kiwi. Canos, a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Oh dear, oh dear. as James Cruz proceeds to have a moment at turn 5. As Kiwi and Griffin continue the battle. Big Donga, he hasn't been able to gain too much time. The gap was about 2 seconds. It's now closed up to 1.8. Toto disqualified from the session, driving the wrong way. Fellas, there's something in a race car called the reverse gear. You have to use it. Can't drive the car forward all the time. Codemasters doesn't like it when you do that. Coming onto the pit straight once again. You can see on the minimap pretty much everyone is in their own little world. Do have a kind of battle for P7 between Installator on the hards and Aussie Suspect on the mediums. Aussie with DRS, is he able to do anything? No, he heavy braking zone of turn 1, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear. Does he go into 7th? No, he doesn't. He holds it in 6th. Third gear through turn 2. Have to be careful of the negative camber on the inside. It wants to push you wide. Can lose a lot of time when the car starts doing that. You lose a couple of tenths. And in a sport like this, where all the cars are equal, a couple of tenths is a lot of time. But Installator is doing well. He just needs to put the car in the right positions, and he'll hold on to that P7 for now. Back up to these three. Big Donga has climbed his way back up towards Misty Griffin. The gap between them 1.3 seconds. Now dropped to 1.2. Seems that Donga has got good pace underneath him. He just needs to try and get within that second to catch up to Griffin. Speaking of which, he's now out of DRS range of Kickbutt Kiwi. Still remains to be out of DRS range, which will help Donga in his quest to try and catch up to Misty Griffin. Just go up to the leader, Blocky Rex, currently in a world of his own. He looks calm, he looks comfortable. We have an incident in Sector 2, that's Camos, I imagine. It is at turn 5 again. You do not, under any circumstances, want to touch the inside curb. It will spin you round. Kiwi, the Kiwi Blocky Rex, Sir Blocky Rex, after his win in France. Looks cool, calm and collected, saving a little bit of ERS here and there, yet he is still pulling a gap away from the three gentlemen behind. Comes around the final turn to complete lap 15 of 35 to start lap 16. 20 laps to go here at the Hungarian. As Misty Griffin is the first to blink and Big Donga follows, so these two are on the same strat. They're going to change onto the hard compound tyre. And away he goes, and away Griffin goes on the hards. On this Croc, he's going to overtake the Rock for 9th place. So these guys are going to fall behind, no, just in front of Ken Tenma in 7th and 10th place respectively. Now that's a big bonus, I must say, for Misty Griffin to have a car between himself and Donga. Aussie Suspect, a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. See, Rock isn't really a car, he's just a ghost at the moment. Honest Croc, I don't know what strategy he is on, but he is allowed to fight for that position as much as he likes, and he can hold up Big Donga as much as he likes, so long as he fights fairly and, you know, fights for his position. Excuse me. Sector 1 yellows, it's an alpha, it's James Cruz. He's had another moment, but he's still going. Currently P18. Only 2 retirements thus far. As Blocky Rex comes in, as so does Kick Butt Kiwi in the McLaren. responding to the undercut attempt. So these guys have been out in clear air, so they might actually get a benefit out of this. We'll have to wait and see. Here comes Misty Griffin. Kickbutt Kiwi. Who's going to come out on top? Kiwi comes out. Here comes Griffin. Around the outside. Kickbutt Kiwi fights back superbly. Down the inside at one. They're side by side, and Kickbutt Kiwi holds on to the position. The undercut attempt didn't work for Misty Griffin. He is still behind the rear wing of that McLaren. And as I suspected, Honest Crook hasn't yet come into the pit lane, and he is going to hold up the Ferrari at least for another lap. As James Cruz has retired from the session. Hello, Ardy. How are you? I haven't talked about you all race. Oh, hello, Lunacy. Hello, Installator. Now, these two drivers are kind of screwed because they would have to switch on to the mediums, and they can last pretty long, but they'll be pretty dead by the end of it. Ardy, on the other hand, slightly less so. He gets to go onto the hard compound tyre, which will definitely make it to the end of this race. In he goes, as suspected. So James Cruz having a moment in Sector 3, retiring the car. It's now promoted Ardy into what position? Where will he come out? Very slow in the pits. Lunacy in the pits. He's going to go onto the medium compound tyre. So Ardy will come out in P4. Astonishingly, Big Donga came in for another stop. And that's not a good thing, because Installator came in as well. So they'll have to double stack. Installator will have to come out in, looks like 9th place. Not looking good for the Ferrari driver at all. So Lunacy and Installator, they're on the mediums now, but they will have to go quite the way to try and make them work and make the distance. Misty Griffin, Kickbutt Kiwi and Blocky Rex, your top three at the moment. Don't know how long we'll spend on the safety car though. We'll have to wait. Typically the game waits until the entire field bunches back up again. But this has thrown Harass a lifeline. A potential lifeline. After that horrible moment right at the start of the race, he has a chance to try and make one hell of a comeback. So we'll have to keep an eye on him and his charge through the field to try and secure some points for Mercedes-Benz. We'll have to wait and see. Toto has now left the session. He was just watching, seeing what's what. Ah, dearie me. What just happened? Session no longer exists. Hopefully I can get an invite back. I'm sure this session still does exist. Luckily we're in the middle of a safety car. Very long wait, I have to say. Ah, dearie me. Let's see. Thank you, James. Luckily we're on the safety car and nothing really is going to happen. Don't know why I dropped out though. Thank you, Big Donga. Spectate. Don't know why that happened. Very strange. Just dropped out. Poof, like that. Thank goodness it was a safety car. Oh well, there's a bit of drama for you. Some heart and mouth moments. So, as the safety car, is he coming in? Must be. So, the lap counter, pretty... Hopefully it'll fix itself once the drivers cross the start-finish line. There we go, lap 20. So, Blocky Rex gets a fairly decent restart, I have to say. I do have to say. Currently a 1 second margin between him and Kickbutt Kiwi. He did exactly what he needed to do, and you can see there from the position changes. Hardy Chenga is up 10 places, Aussie Suspect up 13, Kickbutt Kiwi up 9. Very good starts from all drivers involved. We've had a bit of moments further back as well. At the moment it's pretty good. Sorry, I just had to deal with something. Alright. Let's look at this more properly. So, Kickbutt Kiwi needs to try and stay with Blocky, but Blocky looks quick. He looks quick. He's been quick all day. All race, rather. Let's go back towards the midfield. Got this lovely pack of drivers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars in this pack as Reale actually comes in. Doesn't appear to have damage. He's coming in. Must have got a penalty, I imagine, a drive-through on the safety car. That would explain it. I'll keep an eye on him. Is there a pit crew? Nope, he got a drive-through on the virtual. Not virtual, on the safety car. Leader goes through Misty Griffin. Following Kickbutt Kiwi in the McLaren. So we've got a nice battle for P2. Big Donga, after making his stop, and other drivers making their stops as well, has found himself in P7. Not a bad position, I have to say. His teammate right in front in P5, with Lunacy in P4. I think he'll be pretty happy with that at the moment. And I imagine he'll be a bit quicker than the cars in front. We'll have to wait and see as Aussie gets another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Let's see here. Reedy, P13. That's a rock. That explains why the gaps are so close. DRS is now enabled in 3 laps of green flag racing. As Lunacy, he's going to have a look here, I think, around the outside. No, Griffin parks the car expertly on the apex. Does not allow Lunacy the opportunity to attack down the inside into turn 2 they go. And don't forget about the 2 Ferraris. If the 2 in front start scuffling, these 2 Ferraris will definitely take advantage of the situation. Now I wonder if there's going to be some team orders here between these 2. Will the engineer come over the radio to Installator and say, Big Donga is faster than you? Can you confirm if you understand this message or not? Is that going to happen between these 2? Is Installator just going to let Donga pass? I think Donga's proven to be the quicker racer, but behind Installator he can't really do anything. There's not many overtaking opportunities, but Installator, he's looking alright at the moment. I wouldn't say slow. Oh, a bit of a lock-up though. That was a bit of heart-in-mouth moment there for sure. Misty Griffin desperately trying to hold on to that 3rd place. Lunacy, he's got DRS, but he's got nowhere to use it, as Donga might have a move and his teammate he pulls out. Oh, but Installator runs wide. Both have DRS going through the small kink leading into turn 2. Donga around the outside, he can't really do anything. Tries to get the switch back, but he doesn't have the inside for turn 3. Installator holds the position. Very nice little exchange there between both drivers. Looking further back, giving a lot of time to the leaders. There is a battle further back. Gold Gloves, Aussie Suspect and Honest Croc. I have to remember though that Aussie has got quite a number of penalties under his name that he will serve at the end of this race, so he'll lose a couple of positions. And speaking of the man to keep an eye on, Harass has found himself in P11, one place away from scoring a point, a vital point towards championship, as Reedy has a moment and a half at turn 8 and almost puts his Toro Rosso into the wall. Sector 2, yellow flags, it doesn't appear to be anything. Go back up to this battle as Griffin has found a way to get under a second to kick butt Kiwi, and he's going to try and launch his assault on the McLaren. Now, I said before that it seems that that Misty Griffin has got quite good straight line speed, and there we go, there's the change. There's the change in position. Big Donga overtakes his teammate Installator for P5. Hopefully Donga can try and launch an assault on this leading pack. These three, Donga, Griffin and Kiwi, they've been battling all race, and Lunacy, because of the safety car, now finds himself in this battle as well. So we'll have a four-way fight for second place at the moment. Now, I want to go off and look at penalties, but I don't want to look away from the action quite just yet. Still feel like a lot of things can happen, particularly with the field a bit more condensed, a bit more closer together. Excuse me. So, when Blocky Rex will cross the line, it will be the start of lap 25 and 11 laps to go here at the Hungaro ring. Still plenty of time, plenty of laps, and plenty of kilometers to go. A lot of stuff still to happen. Now, Griffin has fell away from Kick Butt Kiwi quite a bit, and Donga is beginning to catch the two cars in front. We're starting to see this four-way fight for second really start to develop. Absolutely superb stuff. Going back here, Harass on Honest Crook. This is for the final point scoring position through turn 3. As Lunacy, 3 seconds, so definitely something to keep an eye on. Harass is harassing Honest Crook's tail a lot at the moment. I imagine he'd be quite upset after what happened. Oh, dearie me, Gold Gloves! Turn 5. It's claimed another. And that's a broken wing as well. His race is done. I don't think he'll be scoring any points unless there's a safety car. So Harass now moves into point scoring positions, at least at some sort of constellation. Excuse me. Some sort of prize for what's happened in the previous laps between himself and Misty Griffin. Look at this, huh? For second place. Big Donga, he's got a good run, he's going to send it. Oh, you can see him squirming, trying to pull the thing up. Lunacy not going massively defensive either, kind of just letting it happen. By doing so, it doesn't cost him too much time in comparison to if he actually fought Donga there. Because he doesn't only have to worry about Big Donga, he also has to worry about trying to keep up with Griffin, trying to attack his position. Speaking of which, he's now right onto the back of the McLaren's gearbox, starting to make some moves. I want to check the penalties. Oh, we got a nice aerial shot here. Misty Griffin going through turn 11. Short run leading up to turn 12. A nice aerial shot. I wish I got more of those. They're very nice shots to use. You see so much action, so much information as well. Alright, so with the leading cars now coming onto a straight, it's probably best to look. So Blocky Rex, he's got absolutely no warnings. Kick Butt Kiwi, 1 warning. Misty Griffin, he has 3 warnings but no penalty. Lunacy has got 3 seconds. 6 seconds. Big Donga has got 3. And Installator, we'll just check his as well. He's only got 1 warning. So at the moment, just double checking with Mr. Griffin, that's right, it was 3 warnings. So only Lunacy and Donga at the moment have penalties. As well as Kickbutt Kiwi. I might have to check it again just to make sure. Here comes the leading group of cars. Actually, I'll check now with Kickbutts. That's right, 1 warning. So only Lunacy and Donga have penalties in this leading group. They're also the 2 drivers that are fighting the hardest in this group as well. Oh, that was contact for sure between those 2. Don't think it resulted in any damage, but Donga is desperately trying to find a way past the Williams of Lunacy. Coming down the pitch straight away, DRS wide open again. Is he going to send it? No, he's not. He's going to hold position and follow the Williams once more. Oh, but the Williams runs wide. Donga is given the opportunity. Lunacy takes a regular line. Donga down the inside and gets a move done. And Donga parks the car on the apex. The Williams had absolutely nowhere to go. Donga moves himself up into P4. Now, Lunacy wasn't able to make too bigger gains on the 2 drivers in front on the hard tyre, but Ken Donga is on the fresher, softer tyre, but whether or not the medium tyre has begun to switch off yet is yet to be seen. But we're going to have this very nice battle for second. But the man leading the way, Blocky Rex, coming through the final turn now to cross the line to begin lap 29 of 35, has got a 3.5 second lead to McLaren in P2, who is being hunted down relentlessly from the cars behind. Still, though, he is managing to hold on to his position. Absolutely superb stuff at the moment. Really it is. Oh, as Donga makes a mistake! Oh my goodness me! After I thought he might be able to try and launch an assault on the 2 cars in front, he goes off and has a moment as Lunacy gets up and oh, it's contact between the 2 teammates! I don't believe it! Installator into the back of Donga, and that cost him another position to Ken Tenma in the Red Bull. Oh dearie me. Donga, he can't believe it. Contact with his own fill-in teammate in Ferrari. Oh no, 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 no. Unbelievable scenes. So Lunacy now gets into 4th place and has no challenge from behind other than Installator. Sector 2 yellow flags, it's nothing. No, sorry, it's Camos at turn 4, currently in 16th place. I have to say though, Kickbutt Kiwi is doing an absolutely superb job at holding off the Renault of Misty Griffin. However, coming towards the end of this race, you can see there, when we come into turn 2, about 20% ERS in comparison to 70 that Misty Griffin has. Oh, but Griffin makes a mistake through turn 2. Has a similar moment, I think, to Big Donga. He's clipping the inside curb, unsettling the car. We might ride on board with Griffin a little bit to try and see whereabouts he's quicker. As I say, that Big Donga has spun! Oh my goodness me! It's not been a good day! Oh! And that was the McLaren of Hardy, almost going into the back of him as well. I saw the docs come up. Oh my word. Camus has retired, virtual safety car deployed. It's all happening with 6 laps to go. When Blocky crosses the line, it'll be 5 laps. But dearie me, I saw the 2 dots, the McLaren and the Ferrari, come ever so closer. So, anyone gamble? Does anyone go onto the softs? No, they don't. Very sensible choice. Deary me. The virtual safety car, I imagine, is ending soon. But Blocky, it seems that he's lost quite a bit of time to Kiwi. Managing his Delta too well, it seems. DRS is now re-enabled. We are back on the green flag racing. And Blocky Rex has bolted out of the gates. He's almost pulled out now a 4-second lead. He's had an absolutely brilliant restart after that virtual safety car. And now we get another look at this beautiful aerial shot going through the chicane. Big Donga has retired in the pit lane. Oh, dearie me. Collision with his own teammate. Who would have thought? Through these beautifully flowing S's. Oh, as Misty Griffin. 3 seconds. There we go. That was a straw that broke the camel's back. Kickback Kiwi at this stage will hold on to P2 so long as he doesn't get any sort of penalties next to his name. And now falls him into the clutches of Lunacy, but Lunacy, I believe, has got 6 seconds worth in penalties. It's either 6 or 9 seconds. Just 1, 2, 3, so 9 seconds in penalties. But Installator, just another quick moment, has only got the 1 warning. So if Installator manages to get within 3 seconds of Misty Griffin, he will take 3rd position away and get another 3rd place in the Tier 2 Championship. What a nice race it has been. I've seen and commentated a lot worse Hungarian Grand Prix. This one has been pretty decent, I have to say. At the moment, Kiwi really starting to pull away. Lunacy slowly gaining on Misty Griffin in the Renault. Going to try and fight for the position. Back here, looking at P9 and P10, Harass and Honest Crook. Looking good for Harass. Honest Crook on the fresher tyre, as Archie Riale has a moment from 2nd place on the grid. It's not been a good day. He wasn't on the best strategy. The soft tyres clearly not working there very well around here. Fallen to 13th. Just looking at the drivers who have gained and lost positions, pretty much everyone in the 10 minus Harass has had a superb race. Artie up 6 positions as Harass is now going defensive to Honest Crook. This battle for the final point scoring position raging on down the straightaway into turn 2. Honest Crook with the inside line gets the position. Can Harass switch back? No, he won't. So Harass falls to 10th place. But yes, Honest Crook up 7 now. Hardy up 6. Reedy up 8. Ken up 6. Installator up 4. Lunacy up 4. Misty Gray in P3 hasn't gained or lost any positions. Kickbutt Kiwi, an absolutely superb drive from him, 11th all the way up to 2nd place, which he will hold. And Blocky Rex, after qualifying 5th at the moment, crosses the line to make it 2 laps to go here in Hungary with a healthy, very healthy 3.3 second margin. So everyone knows pretty much what tyres they're on, so just keep the leaderboards up. Been a very nice drive indeed. As Honest Crook, he's found his way past an Aussie suspect. Goes diving down the inside of Harass, but he will lose that position to Harass because of the penalties. Harass, I do believe. Oh, as contact between the Haas and the Toro Rosso. in the dying stages of the race, dearie me. Still some drama right at the end when I thought everyone was in their finishing positions. Aussie proceeds to have a moment at turn 2 and another one at turn 5. Some very nice stuff there. But yes, Aussie, I do know that he's got quite a number of penalties, and I believe that will put him outside of the point scoring positions. But Aussie still desperately darting left and right to try and overtake Harass in the Mercedes. So Blocky Rex, it has been a superb race from him. He has been the most consistent driver, I believe, out of the whole lot. He's driven so superbly, like what he did in France, just some really consistent laps. He saved up enough ERS. He is nailing everything at the moment. And ever since he won in France, he has looked like he was going to take another win at some point. He just had that sort of feel about him, that he really grew in confidence and he really grew in race pace. But Blocky Rex coming through turn 12 into turn 13 for the final time, coming into turn 14 for the final time. Blocky Rex, the Kiwi, Sir Blocky Rex, will now become the third driver in the championship to win more than one Grand Prix, as he wins here in Hungary. Kickbutt Kiwi would come home in second, and I don't know who's going to finish third. It's Misty Griffin by 1.2 seconds. Very nice drive from Griffin, and he holds on to P3 for now. Ken moves himself into P5 because of Lunacy's penalties, and Reedy, I believe, will finish in 7th. Hardy seems like he'll hold on to... Oh, sorry. Harass gets 7th. Very, very good recovery then for Harass. Hardy will finish 8th. Honest Crook 9th. And the Rock won't get 10th. That will actually go to Reedy because Rock didn't actually finish the race. A very nice race indeed, I have to say. Carlos has left the session, but let's get the podium celebrations underway. A very superb drive from Blocky Rex in the Mercedes-Benz. Superb consistency, and ever since he took the lead after that incident between Griffin and Harass, he never looked like relinquishing that lead. It has been an absolutely superb race. Kickbutt Kiwi will come home in P2 with Misty Griffin in a questionable P3 for now. That incident, I imagine, between himself and Harass will be looked at, but I have a feeling it will most likely be deemed as a racing incident, as Misty Griffin just made a mistake and Harass was unfortunately in the wrong place. But ladies and gentlemen, that is your top 3. Installator 4th, another solid finish, but that's also questionable with his contact with his own teammate. Kentenmar P5, Lunacy P6. Harass recovers is probably the best word to use to finish P7. Adi Chengas P8 in the McLaren. Honest Crook P9, and the Rock technically finishes 10th, but that will actually go to Reedy in the Toro Rosso. A nice little race here in Hungary, I have to say. Some action here and there. Not a great deal, but not bad for a Hungarian Grand Prix. As I said, it's the Monaco of road circuits. Quite difficult to overtake, very limited overtaking opportunities. So a lot of the action comes out of the strategy and the drama and chaos of the race itself, which hopefully in turn leads to great racing. And it wasn't too bad tonight, I have to say. In comparison to some of the other Hungarian Grand Prix I have done, this one I would certainly rate quite highly. But, ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude round 12 of the PS4 Pacific Series, well, the race at least, I might get a couple drivers in, I think. I might get Blocky in, and I'll hopefully try and get Kickbutt Kiwi in as well. Hello, Blocky. Alright, so I'm going to do some post-race interviews, if you like, just to talk about the race. Just to make sure your audio is all good. Always allowing all that sort of stuff. Misty Griffin as well. See if these two guys have a mic. See if we can't get to talk to them. Rightio. So now it's time for some post-race interviews, and the first person to join, thank goodness, Blocky Rex. Congratulations, mate. Second win of the championship. You must be pretty ecstatic after that.
Yeah. Nerve-wracking. Turn 4. Scary.
Was it?
Hello.
Hello. Oh, we got all three of them in. Fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. Blocky, were you... was it more scary for you this time in comparison to France, or was this a bit better than France?
It was a bit more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was actually leading.
Well, were you surprised at how much pace you had? You were maintaining a gap pretty well, I have to say.
I was surprised by that.
No, it was an absolutely superb drive, I have to say, Blocky. Very, very well done. And the other two gentlemen have joined me, Kickbutt Kiwi and Misty Griffin. Kickbutt, I'll start with you, as you finished second place. Another solid result in the Tier 2 Championship. You must be pretty pleased with your result. How did the race go for you as a whole? Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking of which, Misty Griffin, third place, another solid result and another solid batch of points towards your championship lead. But we'll get the bad stuff out of the way. That little incident that you had with Harass towards the beginning. Would you like to talk? Just talk us through it.
I think I lost the rear and I literally just spun into him. I felt so bad. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Especially being on the outside. I had a fairly decent drive, but just lost it.
Yeah, we all saw it. Blocky, how did it look from your side? Pretty much as he said, just lost it and...
yeah. Traction, then no traction. Gone.
It was a very unfortunate incident for Harass for sure. Luckily for him, he recovered to finish 7th place, which is quite a nice finishing position. But other than that, Misty, how did the race go for you? Was it pretty much according to plan minus the incident, or were a couple of things didn't go your way during the race?
Well, Blocky was very quick. Congrats on winning anyway. And then I could not get past Kickbutt.
Hungary be like that.
Ah, I think I was faster on the straights. I must have had a little bit less downforce. And then like the second half of the lap kickbar, I couldn't catch up to you on that bit. Ugh. Mm. Yeah.
No, absolutely superb stuff from all drivers involved. That was a superb battle between you, Mr. Griffin, Kickback Kiwi, Big Donger as well was involved for quite some time as well, but he got taken out by his own teammate, it seems, at turn 5. A bit unfortunate for him. I'm sure he'll be talking in the Discord right now about it. I don't doubt it for a second. But Blocky Rex, that was an absolutely superb race from you, champ. Your second race win in the championship. Now, this is a bold question. You don't necessarily have to answer it, but with this second win, are you going to try and aim for the championship? You're clearly capable of getting race wins. Do you think you are able to do it?
Consistency is the first part. We'll take baby steps.
Fair enough. Fair enough indeed. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me for post-race interviews. Congratulations on all of your positions and for a very, very fine race indeed. Yes, thank you again. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will end, finally, round 12 of the PS4 Pacific Series in Tier 2. It's been a fairly good Hungarian Grand Prix, I have to say. Some ups and some downs for sure, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to talk about very particular things in the Discord after the race, I'm sure. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. I've been the Smeg. If you liked what you've seen, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to stay up to date with all the content coming out of Race Spec Esports. Till next time, I've been the Smeg. Thank you all so much for watching, and good night.